So we know you like boiled peanuts.
Love boiled peanuts.
Starting to sound like a Southern girl. We know you like syrup.
I like syrup.
Who doesn't? So do you like grits?
No.
No? You're breaking my heart,
I have
Rainey.
to be honest, but you know what? I appreciate them. I appreciate what they mean to the South.
So how about cornmeal?
Cornmeal, you know
Fritters,
what?
corn dogs, corn dodgers,
Yes.
fried fish.
Yes, all that sounds
All right.
great.
So let's go find out where that starts at the grits mill next door.
Okay, let's go. This is so fun.
So Rainey, we produce our own grits and cornmeal here at the farm through this grist mill here that came locally to us. It's a stone mill. So inside of it, we've got great big stones like this that are turning, or one's turning against the other, and the corn kernels go in, get ground up, come out as grits and meal, and then we hand sift them to separate the two out. So here on the farm, we've got our woodworking shop and our blacksmith shop, and it wouldn't have been uncommon in our past to have those two working together, building things like wagons and wagon wheels in a wheelwright shop. So wagon wheels like the ones here have a lot of iron and wood components to them, and of course this was a typical form of transportation before automobiles came in by mid-century.
Right.
A visitor to the farm on a typical day isn't going to see all of these activities taking place all the time.
Right.
There are certain days where we have blacksmith shop running, certain
Special
events where we
events.
have these things going. So we do encourage you to keep track with what's going on, but more importantly, visit frequent and visit often.
Sure.
So you have a
See a
greater
different
chance
thing.
of catching us doing something different out here, because we've always got something new happening on the farm. Rainey, we've got our sawmill here. So this is what's called a ground mill because it sits right flat on the ground, but it's a circular sawmill. It has this giant round blade here.
That thing is
So
giant.
when we're running this, we're producing some boards and some sawdust all at one time. Sometimes more boards than sawdust, sometimes more sawdust than boards. But it gives us an opportunity to take some windfall trees and turn them into lumber that we can use here on the farm for maintaining and restoring some of our structures and our drags and equipment that we use out here on the farm. So this was a really, really common treat to farm families. Today, you know, it's all about Skittles and M&Ms, right? But if you lived on a farm, you probably didn't have everyday access to great candies and treats like we may have today. So a famous treat on the farm would be chewing sugar cane. Grab a piece and break it off.
Okay.
You're going to put it in your mouth and chew it, not swallow the woody part. You're just going to swallow the juice. Now that's sweet, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
In the summer months, we've got our tobacco growing out here. And the
Okay.
farm family would be tending their tobacco all throughout the spring and summer months, and then it was time to gather it and put it in. So we have putting in day out here at the farm where we gather our tobacco by hand with the mule and the drag. It comes under the barn sheds here and it gets strung on the sticks so it can be cured. Come on, Minnie.
Well, aren't you pretty? Hi.
Meet Minnie the mule.
Hi, Minnie.
So Minnie is our power source out here at the farm. She's a
Wow.
mule, not a horse, which
Okay.
means that she is a cross between a donkey and a horse.
Okay.
Well, Rainey, welcome to the farmhouse.
Well, thank you. Hello.
I'd like to introduce you to Hillary Winburn. She's a curator here at the Horry County Museum and L.W. Paul Living History Farm.
Awesome.
And she does a lot of our domestic interpretation here. Come on into our recreation of the Pauley Swamp Primitive Baptist Church.
This is cool.
So Primitive Baptist faith was real common
Okay.
in rural Horry County. We recreated the Pauley Swamp Primitive Baptist Church because this was a church that Larry Paul has attended as a child.
Okay.
And in years later, when there was no longer a congregation there, Larry Paul renovated and restored that building and established a board of trustees to manage the historic preservation of that building and the cemetery for on and on. So these are the original pews. So we use this church as a place to have speaking programs and musical performances, traditional music and so forth. It's also where we always start our school group tours and end our school group tours in here. One of the important things we try to do out here is not just preserve artifacts that you can come and see or do demonstrations that you can come and witness and see how things were done and see the important role they played, but we want people to come here and take away an experience.
Sure.
We want them to go back and say, hey, I can make pickles, I can make jelly, you know, I can grow a garden, I can try these things too. There's value to us preserving artifacts, there's value to us telling stories and demonstrating, but the real value is people taking those traditions and readapting them or adopting them into their lives.
I had so much fun today at the L.W. Paul Living History Farm. As always, if you'd like to learn more, just visit the information on your screen. Thanks for watching Living Local. We'll see you next time.